friends, click friends. We got the Mute Math and the 21 Pilots video coming up today. I just maybe drank a little bit too much on my anniversary a couple days ago, and I'm just behind on editing. So I'm going to get this one up before I have a live stream on Patreon for Beyonce thing. And then I'll have the Mute Math one edited and everything up for tonight. So it was a blast. I'm going to save that to myself, but we're going to go through some more nerdy stuff. My friend Elizabeth sent me a rig tour. This is from Sweetwater, right? 21 Pilots drummer Josh Dunn with drum tech Father John going through the rig. I'm going to see if I can break a little bit of this down. Elizabeth was saying a little bit was a little bit too maybe nerdy or out of the scope, so I'm going to see what I can kind of get into here. But let me close my door. My friends, if this is your first time checking me out, I have a background. I was a live, like a front of house technician. I was an audio mixer and a stage manager for 8 or 9 years. Or 7 or 8 years or something. Depends how you're counting. Depends who's counting. Come on now. But I also played drums. I play guitar. I'm a singer, this and that. So I kind of feel like I got a little bit of a unique kind of a perspective going on here. But if you're returning, man, and if you want to support the channel, the best thing to do is give me the thumbs up. I'm going to try to earn it my best. If you want to support the channel financially, or if you want to support the cause and the dream, the links to the Patreon is in the description box. And wow, I'm going to try not to fumble over my words. Let's do this. I haven't watched the Sweetwater thing, I don't think, so...
Hi everybody, Father John here with 21 Pilots. I'm here to give you a rig tour of Josh's 2022 Scaled and Icy kit. The wonderful people at SJC gave us a fantastic product, as you can see. This is going to be a fun tour of the Dragon Scale kit. Let's go.
SJC is the drum company, like, you know, DW, Drum Workshop or whatever, Pearl, so that's what SJC is, just in case I almost missed it, so that's why I'm kind of saying that. So this drum tech would do this every night.
We've got the kick drum here first. It is a 22-inch diameter by 20-inch deep kick drum. We've got an extended hoop on here to add a couple extra inches just for looks. Working around the kit, we're gonna come this way. We've also got the 16 by 16 floor tom over here in pink. The Dragon Scale print was obviously for the tour aesthetic this year. We've got the dragon as part of the album mascots named Trash. Working our way around to this side. So we've got the 22 by 20, the 16 by 16, and right here we've got the 12 by 6 rack tom.
That's pretty rock and roll, right? Like when you buy like I don't want to say like an entry level kit, but you see lots of like 12, 13, 16, and then like when you start getting into like a little bit more fancier kits, it goes like 10-inch, 12-inch, 16, and then some people add like maybe a 14-inch floor tom, but like it's rock and roll, man. 12 and 16, they're far enough apart. You can pitch them like almost like 1 and 5, so it kind of gives like a lot of rock power chords, like boom, boom, like the same kind of like walk as when you're doing like 1 and 5, which is like pretty common, right? So this is really cool to see. This is gonna help with my breakdowns in the future. So it's good to know.
If you look over here on the hardware, we actually got these cool little insignias that SJC did for us. Around on this side, we've got the popcorn snare. This is a 12 by 5. It's got one big note, and it's just loud as heck. Josh reaches all the way up here for those. Those are nice and fun. Right here, we've got the Roland SPDSX. This has been a staple in the kit for almost 10 years now, but what's a little bit newer here is down here by my foot, we've got the Roland TD50 brain. And I'm gonna explain how we...
So what that is, TD50 is, it's a digital drum line. So like it would be all the different pads. But the TD50, I believe you can do triple triggers. So like if you have a cymbal, you can do like cymbal like crash, you can do cymbal bell, and you can do cymbal like catch maybe. Like you can palm mute it, so then you can have like a more realistic feel. The TD50s are really, really nice, but they're just using it as a brain, so it probably is just feeding into that that digital pad they had, so then anything he plays on that would sound like a really nice drum kit from Roland in the TD50 line, right? So
we kind of use all these in conjunction with our playback rig. First thing you might notice is around the kit we've got a couple electronic pads. These are Roland PD8s. Simple single zone trigger pads, and down here next to my
only one spot on the thing that you can hit there. It doesn't have like a rim or a bell, it's just drum, that's it.
Pedal, I've got a Roland KD7. It's for electronic kick purposes. All three of these are going to route through this TD50 brain down here. The only sounds that come out of this brain are MIDI notes. It's actually not a sound at all. So these brains will run MIDI into this brain. We take a MIDI signal and come back out through this brain. So this is step number 2. All these pads run to here first and then come through this drum brain. This drum brain supplies transport control for our playback rig, meaning at any point, Josh has full control over the computers that are off stage. It
Cool. Good for
it
him.
helps give him a level of control over starting, stopping. If there is a problem in the set and they need to pause, he has the ability to do that from here without having to relay to anybody off stage.
Neat. So like basically like all MIDI is basically just like a controller for your mouse, and then you can click on like sounds, cues, like hotkeys, shortcuts, anything like that. You can do that through like a piano, or in this case like a drum pad, right? So and like in a piano, you can do multiple keys at a time. It'd be like multiple mouse clicks at a time, or holds, and then you can have like different organ sounds, keyboard sounds, whatever. And that way you just have like basically a shell that you drag around, and it runs sounds off of Logic on the laptop or whatever. So in their case, they're using it to like start, stop, back up. They might have like a loop section where it's just like metronome that keeps playing until he's ready to like turn the loop off. So like if Tyler's talking or something like that, and they're just doing like a crowd section, they might just have the metronome on loop. Like there's probably all kinds of buttons that you can do there. I should do like a DAW run through maybe one day if some of y'all are into that. Let me know if you're into like the different steps of like what like the tracks might be able to do. Like maybe not tracks themselves, but like like the recording process, the like backing up and shit like that. I can show you guys that if you want.
And he's also got this fancy little go switch right here next to the hi-hat. It's a latching switch, meaning that he can accidentally hit it once, nothing happens. But if he were to hit it again, the next song would start playing, as well as the song after that be cued. Transport controls, we've got a second bank of pads assigned here for things like this one will stop the tracks. These two will go left, right, up and down the set list tracks. And I've got all of that is able to be seen here on the iPad. If you see, I've got full control going up this way. If I hit go, the tracks start playing. I can hit stop on it. You won't see it stop, but I can at any point navigate through the entire set list to pick a specific song.
Genius.
In order to keep playing. Snare drum is a little different from the rest of the kit. Most of the kit is actually made out of maple wood. This snare drum is a 14-inch by 7-inch deep. It's also very deep for most snare drums. This one's made out of mahogany. We've had mahogany wood snare drums since 2015 on the Blurry Face run, and I cannot recommend this wood enough for snare drums. It's an absolutely gorgeous sounding drum.
Interesting.
We've got
so maple's real like throaty and punchy. It doesn't have like a ton of overtones, a ton of color to it, but it's like real punchy. Like it really stands out. You see it lots in like R&B where you need like something short and sweet. It might be like a blend or something in R&B, but like maple is like a staple. But the mahogany for the snare drum is really interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Mostly DW hardware everywhere. DW 9000 series for kick pedals and hi-hats, as well as all the hardware. A lot of the boom attachments came separate. We often have to source some of the extra hardware pieces from our friends at Sweetwater, and anytime I need something from them, I normally give my buddy TJ a call. TJ will always hook us up with anything I need, day or night. I can literally call this guy from Germany with a problem in my rig, and he'll have a local source ready to fix gear the next day. It's a really good friend to have. So thank you a lot, TJ, for giving us everything we always need and then more. We are working with Zildjian cymbals around the kit. We switched to the K-Sweet series on this run, so I've got 14-inch Sweet hi-hats, top and bottom. This is a 19-inch K-Sweet
They got like a nice, almost brittle top end, the K-series, I'm pretty sure.
Crash. I've got a 20-inch K-Sweet Crash, and this is a 23-inch K-Sweet Ride.
Big ride, too.
Over here, we're still rocking the 20-inch AFX cymbal. We've had this on the kit for...
It's just a texture cymbal. They're light. Like lots of people carry like China cymbals maybe, but like they're big and goofy and like they're really weird shape. They fit weird in the cymbal bag. But this just has a bunch of holes in it, so it just sounds different. It's cool for shots and accents and stuff.
About 7 or 8 years. And this guy over here we added last year. This is a splash stack of a 10-inch and an 8-inch.
So that's just two cymbals just pressed on top of each other with no foam or anything in between them. So you get like, again, they choke each other, but it's also like copper bronze on bronze, right? So it's just accent stuff.
Zildjian AFX stack. So nice little trashy
sound. He probably
sound.
breaks
like
those
that
all the time.
So we've got triggers all around the kit. These triggers are made specifically to just open the microphone gates. A lot of people will have them replace the sounds on the kit. We don't like to do that. The reason why we have these here is because every single note Josh Dunn will play starts up here. And if you can imagine, that gets really, really loud. And to eliminate bleed from one signal going into the wrong microphone, we put gates on the drums. Yeah. And these gates are operated by the triggers themselves. We've got a lot.
Okay, I'll give you an example of what a gate sounds like. I'll make mine really aggressive. You could probably hear my voice cut in and out because unless I'm talking over a certain volume, like if I talk, when I talk quiet, it does nothing. When I talk quiet, So unless I'm talking over a certain decibel range, it'll just cut it off, right? So because Josh is so loud, they probably couldn't find gates that were doing a good enough job to keep up to it. So what they have is a trigger. So the trigger is also like a MIDI device, or it's like a signal basically that goes into a brain. And the typical use for it is when you hit the snare drum, you don't hear that snare drum. You hear a pre-recorded snare drum that's perfect all the time. So that, like, basically it doesn't matter where you hit on the drum, it always sounds the same. You might hit it like a little close to the rim. You might even just hit the rim by accident, but the crowd always gets the same beautiful snare drum. So they're using it, instead of the sound being replaced, it lets the microphone turn on. So now you get that gated effect, and when he hits the drum, instead of it being a replaced drum, you just actually hear the drum now. And it's just like a more extreme way of covering, like he said, like the bleed from other instruments and microphones and stuff, right? So I think I'm still squashing myself too much. I hope none of that cut out. It might have been a little quiet, but anyway, so that's what a gate does. They sound really wonky, like I say, by themselves, but like everything has gates. Everything has gates.
A lot of electronic going on, and they have to link to our playback rig. The obvious solution for that is MIDI.
Yep.
MIDI protocols, and we do have a MIDI system going through here, but what's different for us is this box right here. It's a Lightlink Cat5 transceiver. This allows us to convert MIDI signals to Cat5, and what that...
That's just so you can go forever and ever and ever. It's like an Ethernet cord, right? Like you could go 300 feet if you want, and it works, right? Like MIDI, it's like a USB cord. Like you can only go so far, right?
Allows us to do is have our playback rig as far as 300 feet away without experiencing any latency or any loss of signal from the electronic instruments that you might get with a longer MIDI cable run. The iPad is also converted to a Cat5 line that will run to our playback rig, so that Josh has full wired control over the playback system.
Unreal.
With regards to the drum heads, we have had almost the same drum head set up for several tour cycles, but this year they, Josh let me try something a little bit different, and we've been very happy with it. We've got Remo Power Stroke P.
So the Power Stroke is this white thing here, and it's just basically, like you'll see in some videos, drummers will put like tape and stuff on their drums, and that just makes it like resonate a little bit less, so it just chokes it up a little bit more. But this is just like, it's built into the head, so like you're not losing any like resonance by accident. You're not going to change any like pitch of the drum. Like once you tune it, it's already got the muting on it, right? These little microphones, I can't remember what they're called. We used to have a bunch of them too, but they have like preset positions, so it just like it ticks into place. But it's just this tiny little capsule, bro, and they punch, they hit hard, man. These are cool mics, and this little spring system down here, it's just like that's how it clamps on. It's just because like you don't want to lose any resonance from the drum either. That's what this setup is here. It like clamps onto like almost springy parts of the drum, so the drum can still resonate freely. It'd be like their proprietary way of doing it. Everyone has their own way of doing it. And then this is clamped onto that too, so it doesn't interfere with the drum. A lot of people would put it right on this head, but now it's like putting like maybe not a ton of pressure, but it's like grabbing that rim a little bit, and you're gonna choke up the drum a bit. So that's what they're up to here.
4 clears and 12 and 16 inch with the Remo muffle rings on them as
so
well.
yeah, he just put the muffle rings on top, but you can get them with that on the thing as well. But you saw he picked that up, so that's what I was talking about, where you guys follow along, you get it.
On the resonant heads, that's where the changes happen. Historically, we've had pinstripes on the bottom. This tour cycle, we moved to the single ply ambassadors, and they've made a huge difference in the tone. We're really happy with them.
So they just want more low-end resonance out of the drum. So the pinstripes would be a similar idea to this, but it's like pinstripes. Like y'all know what pinstripes are. So they got rid of that, and they got a single ply. So imagine it's like toilet paper, 1 versus 3. The 1 is gonna resonate differently than the 3. The 3 is going to be a little bit tighter just naturally, right? So the 1, it's probably got like a lower end, a little bit more weight to it. And then like if you tune, like imagine this, so the drum has about, what do you say, 8 inches to travel, like from where you hit it down, right? So you have like a tight or like a pitch, and then you have like a low resonance. So now the drum has a fall to it. It goes boom, literally from the drum, right? So that's what they're up to here. So it has like it's just a rock and roll thing, right?
We've also made a change to the snare batter head. Historically, we've been on Power Stroke P77s. This tour, we decided to go with the Remo coated Controlled Sound X. They last a little bit longer. They hold that warmth just a few more shows longer than the P77s do, and we seem to like that a lot more. We've got Ambassador Hazies on the resonant side for the snare drum. We still have the Power Stroke 77s on the popcorn snare over here. No need to change it. It only gets hit like 5 or 6 times a show. And on the kick drum, we still have the Power Stroke P3 clear. So it's a 22-inch P3 clear by Remo. And for the resonant head, we put a graphic over a 22-inch smooth white Ambassador head. So yeah, the guys at Remo really put out a good product for us. We love having their stuff on our kit. I can't tell you how much I enjoy playing this kit. It sounds amazing every single night, and I look forward to you guys hearing it. So thank you guys.
We're not going to talk about microphones. Let's talk about microphones.
We put a
At
graphic
least ones I
over
can
Clear
see.
by Remo.
So this is a Beta 57, great microphone, very punchy. They might have another microphone on that too. Like there's a lot of tape on there. Sometimes people put like a KSM 103, I think they're called. It's like a little pencil condenser from Neumann. But sometimes they'll like tape it right on there so that the two heads line up, and then you don't have any like phasing issues, they'd call it. So when the snare drum sends its sound, like the waves come up, you want it to go into the microphones at the same time, not different, and then they compete with each other. You lose sound. You have pockets that like either stand out or dip. It kind of goes either way, right? I think this is a Neumann microphone, the one I was referencing. I think it's called a KSM 103, but don't fact check me on that. It's definitely like in the KSM series. But this is pointed away from the drum kit for the cymbal. So this is just so that you get that cymbal washy without getting all that bleed here, like we were talking about with the gates and the triggers. Those are probably on all the cymbals. That would make sense. So they all kind of sound the same. Yeah, you can see it here. You can see it there. What else? Buddy's got his comm set on here. So this would connect all the other tour crew as well as the leads on the local crew, because like they're not going to travel with enough people to do all the stadium shows. They're going to hire locals, right? So like you can, if y'all want to go get some like hands-on experience, man, you might not meet these people, but you can get some experience in it in your local crews at your stadiums. But that's what these walkie-talkies were just before. So like if you need something from costume, if you need something from construction, you need something from audio, from lighting, you just buzz each other, right? So but yeah, I'd like to see what the rest of the microphones were. Like I said, I can't remember what these ones are called either. I used to have a few of them, or the company I used to work for had a bunch of them, and they're nice. They're really punchy. Obviously, like they are gonna have the best, right? And it's small, so it's out of the way. Yeah, man, this is great. This is a really cool video. I appreciate this, my friends. Looking forward to posting the Mute Math one, and I hope y'all are gonna enjoy that one. And see everyone again soon.